Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to talk Nomad Cosmetics, and we are going to talk even more excitedly so about purple eyeshadows. I love purple eyeshadows. If you've been here for a while, you probably know that. And I realized the other day that Nomad Cosmetics came out with a palette last year that had some beautiful purple shadows in it, and I completely skipped it. They sent it to me and I ignored it, okay? I hadn't even opened it. So the day that I was posting my 2024 rankings video, I had to go to the Nomad Cosmetics website and I see this palette that I don't recognize, and I'm like, that's beautiful, what is that? Come to realize it's a palette that I've had just sitting around at my house for a while, and it's the Great Gatsby palette, or the Chicago Speakeasy palette, I'm sorry. It just looks Great Gatsby-esque. So the Chicago Speakeasy palette, which has two beautiful rows of like the most stunning soft purpley shades, and guess what? I want to play with those shades today. But also they just released this other palette, which is called the, I know I'm going to butcher this, but Chamonix Après-Ski palette, and it's like a palette inspired by this ski resort. And guess what? It also has a row of beautiful purpley shades in it, or like purple to blue, but then we also have these mauvey pinks right here that we can combine with those, plus also not to neglect the two rows of green eyeshadow that are stunning in this palette. I love these greens as well. So I'm very excited to show you guys swatches of both of these palettes, even though they're kind of not related, but they both have purple eyeshadows, so I am excited to play with these. And I'm going to create at least a couple of looks, one with each. Maybe I'll do more, depends on how things go once I swatch and what I want to play with. Both of these palettes are beautiful from Nomad, and guess what? Nomad has the purples. I'm excited to play with some purple shadows today, and hopefully they will not disappoint. If by the end of today's video you're interested in these palettes at all, I do have a affiliate code with Nomad Cosmetics, and my code is PATTY10, so you can always save 10% from their website with my code. And so yeah, that's all I have for this intro. Let's go ahead and get started. Since I don't really know how to pronounce this place correctly, and I don't want to sound stupid for the rest of the video, I'm going to call this one the Ski Resort palette, and this is going to be the palette that I'm going to go ahead and swatch first. I think instead of going across the way I usually do, I'm going to just go down and swatch it vertically, because that way the color stories will kind of remain together once I swatch it. So here are the first three shades. We have Les Alpes, Last Run, and Vin Child, followed by three matte shades, Haute Savoy, Off Piste, and Raclette. I am probably saying all of that wrong. So here's that first pink slash mauvey pinky color story, followed by three more shimmer shades. This one looks super ethereal. I love it. And that one is called Chamonix. Then we have Après and Aperitif right here. Anyways, we're following that up with the three green mattes, which are super creamy looking. And we have Mont Blanc, Ski, and Fondue. I just went over them so that you can see them a bit more intensely. Here are the last three shimmers, which are bluish looking. I don't know how to say the name of this one, but it sounds something like a Gil Dumit, Mountain, Chalet, and Shoot Ski. And then the last three mattes, which I'm very excited about, because these are all purpley looking. This one's a bit more blue than purple, but these two, ooh, so pretty. Okay, so these are Valle Blanche, La Terrasse, and Last Call. Adding a little bit more so you can see them better. And so take a look right here. These are all of the shades from the Ski Resort palette swatched. As you can see, we have some incredibly beautiful shifty shimmers that are very ethereal looking. Then we have some more metallic looking ones as well, and all of the mattes look lovely. And even though a lot of the matte shades, or I guess three of the matte shades, are pretty light in color, you can still see that they have a really good amount of pigmentation to them. So I'm excited to try out this palette. But before we do, I am going to swatch the other one. Next, we're going to swatch the Chicago Speakeasy palette, which has 2 rows of purpley looking shades and then all of these beautiful, more natural looking reddish, warmish shades, a couple of like fun greens in there as well. This palette is also beautiful. I don't know how I did not make a video with this one when it first launched. Once again, it completely just went over my head. I didn't even open it when it arrived, and it's so beautiful. So let's go ahead and swatch it. I'm once again swatching it vertically because it'll keep the color stories together, in particular the purpley shades. So we have the Drifter, Chicago Fizz, and Blind Pig. Then we have the Violet Hour, Aviation, and Knock and Speak Easy. The Green Mill, South Side, which is a beautiful multi-chrome, and Capone. The Drunken Goats, Boulevardier, and Windy City. The color Boulevardier looks much better on my finger. You can actually see all the shifts that it has. Look how it goes green. So pretty. And then the last 3 colors are the Absinthe House, Gin Ricky, and Prohibition, which is pretty much the exact color of my skin down here. You cannot see it, but it's there. So take a look right here. These are all of the Speakeasy palette shades swatched right here. Very pretty. I love all of the like multi-chromy looking shades in it. And I really like the purpley shades up here as well because they're like purpley looking but also very natural and wearable. So I'm excited to play with those. I'm going to start with the Ski Resort palette, and I've decided I'm going to do 2 different looks with this one. I definitely want to use these purple shades. I definitely want to use the greens. The pinks I'm not super excited about, so I think I'll leave those out, but I will start by using the color down here called Raclette. And this is going to be the first shade I use, and then I'll move on to the purple zone. So with a blending brush, this one being my reference number 15, and the shade Raclette, which is like a transition-y, pinky type color, I'm going to lay a foundation for this eyeshadow look by just blending that color all throughout the crease of my eye. I think I'm actually going to use one more shade from the pink section, and that is the color of Pissed right here, which is a mauvey pink color that will work nicely as a transition color. That one is going to be my transition shade, and once again I applied it with my fluffy reference number 15 brush all throughout the crease. Switching now to a reference number 1, which is a pinched blending brush, and I'm going to grab the shade Las Terras, which is this cool tone purple color here, and I'm going to add that color to my crease. But since this brush is smaller, we're not going to blend it as high as the previous shades I applied. And so I'm just going to back and forth blend this purple color into those shades. I'm adding a little more to the outer third of my eyelid, tapping it first and then blending it into the crease as well. Loving what I'm seeing so far. Things are blending nicely, they're building nicely, and I love a cool tone purpley hue. We're going to go into the next color right here called Valet Blanche, which is this purpley dark shade. And with it, I'm going to deepen up things further using my reference number 1, just tapping the color on the outermost corner of the eye first. And then with the tip of my reference number 1, I'm blending it into the previous shades once again. And now we have a very deep, dark purple smoky eye. I was trying to figure out where to go next, and I think I might actually mix both of these shades to make it purplier, because we have a blue shimmer and then a pink shimmer, and I think if I mix the 2, it'll just go with this eye look more. So I'm going to start with this blue shimmer right here, and let me just go ahead and grab this one as well, this pink over here, and I'm going to tap the blue shimmer on my eyelid first, just like so, just leaving a little tiny space on the inner corner, and then we're going to top it off with the pink shimmer using my finger once again. And I just want that to make things look a bit more purpley rather than blue. I like it, I like that. Okay, back with my reference number 1, I'm just going to make sure the mattes and the shimmers blend nicely back here. And for the inner corner, I guess I did end up using quite a few of those of the pink shades, because for the inner corner I'm going to use this color here. And with a reference number 28, I'm going to tap it right in this inner corner of my eye and bring it in around halfway through my eyelid. I love purple eyeshadow when it is done right. I like this very much. With the darkest color I used on top on a reference number 3, I'm going to start darkening up right underneath my lower lash line. Smudging that color right down here on the outer half. And then with the shade Last to Raz here, on a reference number 14, I'm going to smoke that inwards. We need a royal purple eyeliner in the waterline. Love, 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 love. That looks so good. And so this is my almost finished purple look with this Ski Resort palette. I am going to put on some mascara and some lashes to finish it up. Like I said, I want to use the greens. I will use the greens, but before I use the greens, I think I want to jump to the Speakeasy palette and use these purpley mauvey shades on this eye so we can kind of compare the purples and have purple on both eyes before I go into the green shades. So let's go ahead and jump into the Speakeasy palette and try these purples. And maybe if you're debating between the two, you can see which purple color story you like better, because these are definitely more mauvey and this is definitely more of a cool toned purple color story. Since I'm using purple again, I just started by using my purple in the waterline and then I'll build the color story around it so that I get this step out of the way. So I'm going to start this look with the shade The Drifter and use that as my transition color. So back and forth, I'm just going to blend it all throughout my crease. And then to start building up a little bit of intensity, still using this very fluffy brush, I'm going into the Violet Hour and adding this one to the outer third of my crease and blend it forward, just like so, back and forth. And all the way to the inner part of the crease. Switching to a reference number 1 and I'm going into the shade Blind Pig. Just kind of doing a gradient from the lightest to the darkest of the matte purpley shades. And so I'm adding the shade Blind Pig to the outer third of my eyelid. And then back and forth, blending it up into the crease, into the rest of the shades I put there. And just slowly working that shade inwards through the crease of my eye. Lastly, I'm going to go into the darkest of the purple shades, which is Not Gonna Speak Easy, and just basically tap that one on the outer third of the eyelid and barely blend it up. I'm just wanting that depth on the outer third back here. Also grabbing that darkest purple shade and back and forth, smoking out my lower lash line with it. This is a reference number 3 pencil brush that I'm using. Back with the color The Violet Hour on a small, tiny blending brush. And we are going to smoke out my lower lash line all the way to the tear duct area. Just like so. You can see kind of the difference in the undertones of the purple shades. I'm going to grab the shade Aviation on my finger next. And this is going to be the center of my eyelid here. So I'm just tapping it in place all throughout the center. Adding a little more with my finger and just leaving some space on the inner third of the eyelid. With a reference number 2, I'm going to grab Chicago Fizz and add that color right there. It's just a slightly lighter shimmer purpley shade. Just adding it right on the inner third of the eyelid. And with a reference number 28, which is a smaller flat brush, I'm going to grab this light color here because it's the lightest in this palette. It's called Gin Ricky and it's basically like an iridescent vanilla shade. And I'm going to tap it over the inner third of the eyelid and bring it in third of the way in. And so here are the purpley shades in the Speakeasy palette versus the purpley shades in the Ski Resort palette. Honestly, loving them both. I think the Ski Resort purples are a bit more unique, but also I had to make the purple in the center of the eye. Do keep that in mind. That is blue and pink combined. So this I think is just a bit more common looking. Not to say I don't like it, because I do love it. It's fantastic. But I think I'm liking this eye look over here better. It's a bit more interesting looking for sure. Let me go ahead and put on mascara and lashes and I'll be back to show you my final purple looks. Back with the makeup fully finished, and here are my 2 purple eyeshadow looks that I created with the Chicago Speakeasy palette and the new Ski Resort palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Let me know which one is your favorite down in the comment section below. And I did finish up my makeup on my lips. I have the Deep Taupe lip liner from Anastasia and Ravi Beauty's lipstick in the shade Lily in the center. And so here is the final look. Back, and as you can see, I took off my eye makeup. I just really want to wear whatever beautiful green eyeshadow look I'm about to create with these shades for the rest of the day, because they are just such pretty green shades. And I'm going for light ethereal green. I'm not going to do a dark smoky eye with these because that's just what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the 2 lighter matte shades and the 2 lighter shimmer shades most of all. So let's see what I can come up with. I'm going to start with the shade Fondue, which is the light green matte. And I'm going to tap this one throughout the crease of my eye. And I'm just going to work that green shade all throughout the crease. And the same thing over here. Once I have that pastel green shade down, hold on, I'm missing a little on the inner part right here. There we go. That was going to drive me nuts. So once I have the green down, I'm going to go to the middle green shade right here on a reference number 1. So just use your more pinched blending brush for this, and I'm going to start by tapping this color on the outer third of the eyelid, and then turning my brush around, I'm going to start blending it into my crease. I'm not sure if I want to go darker than this. We might just leave this one very light and ethereal. We'll see. For now, I think I'm going to do the matte first, and then I'm going to jump to the shimmers. And after I put the shimmers down, I'll determine whether or not I want to go darker. So let me just keep going with my green. So now that my matte greens are down, I'm going to jump into this shade right here called A Press. And that's going to be the shade right in the center of my eyelid here. And I'm just tapping it in place. See, I already know I think I do want to go a little darker with the mattes. Let me just make myself even over here. I'm going to finish up my inner corner with this bright shade right here. And I'm using a small flat brush to apply it to the inner third of the eyelid. Work it in ever so slightly and pat it right on the inner corner. This is my reference number 28. So as I said, I do want to go a little darker with the greens. So I am going to use this shade on a reference number 14, which is a very small, fluffy blending brush. And I'm just going to tap that color on the outer third of my eyelid and blend it into the rest of the shades that I already applied. Yes, I like that. It just gives a bit more definition to the eye look. I'm adding a little bit of that dark green shade right underneath my lower lash line to the outer third. I'm going to use this mint color eyeliner from Glossier in my waterline. The Glossier eyeliner was not showing up the way I wanted it to, so I ended up switching to an Oden's Eye eyeliner, and it is the Oden's Eye eyeliner in shade 004. And with my reference number 14 and the mid-tone green matte shade called Ski, I am finishing up the under eye by back and forth smoking things in. And so this right here is the finished green look before any mascara or lashes. You can definitely make it a lot darker than this, but I wanted to keep it light and ethereal, so this is what I came up with. And here is what things look like once I finished up by reapplying my lipstick, putting on mascara and lashes. Everything on my face is of course listed and linked down below in the description box. As far as how I feel about both of these palettes, I absolutely love them. I gotta say, now that I've tried the purples in each of the palettes, I prefer the newest one, the Ski Resort palette. I love the green eyeshadows. Also, I figured besides the purples in this one, like the rest of the colors are pretty common. You see them in a lot of different palettes, especially like the browns and the reddish shades. Plus, I like the other purples better than these purples, although I definitely appreciate that these purples are in here. And so I just think this one has a more unique color story. Overall, it is colorful, but it is definitely a wearable, colorful eyeshadow palette. I loved the purple eyeshadow look I came up with using the purple and pink shades. You also get the duochrome blues in here and the greens that I created the look that I'm currently wearing with, which are absolutely stunning. So this one, definitely a huge win in my book. And if you, like me, are a fan of purple eyeshadows, now you know that Nomad has some to offer in these newer palettes that they've been coming out with. Let me know if you guys liked today's video. If you did, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. Which purple look did you guys like better? Did you like better the purple look I created with this palette or with this palette? I'm definitely very curious to find out, so please let me know in the comment section below. If you're shopping for any of these or anything else Nomad Cosmetics, my code to save 10% is PATTY10, and that is all I have for today's video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.